Uh, Saudi Cup. Hi, I'm very excited to be here today. My name is Sugie, the CEO and co-founder of WHILL. So what we're trying to do is that we'll design and create intelligent personal electric vehicle for people who have difficulty walking, but also everyone. So I will show you the video first. Can turn on video. And a movie, music. Hold on. So I think the sounds.
A wheelchair. This before. Move beyond the status quo and into a personal electric vehicle, the WHILL Model M. The Model M has everything you need to live more freely.
I love my WHILL Model M. Its striking, clean look just fades away, allowing you to be you.
Its comprehensive design uniquely provides confidence and boundless ability.
Yeah!
Make the most out of your independence and go where you want to go safely. Get ready to drive envy, the WHILL Model M.
Yes, so our mission is delivering fun and innovation to pedestrian travel for all. So the first off, I'd like to introduce why we started this project. So Johnny started from a wheelchair is the voice. He said, I've given up going to grocery store even just 2 blocks away. The why? It's really related to the history of the wheelchair. So do you know what is this? Yes, this is a wheelchair in 1932. So what about telephone in 1932? It's something like this. So as you guys know, the wheelchair users and the power wheelchair users hasn't enjoyed the fruits of innovation for more than half a century. So that's why he complained about that. So at that time, we have small engineering team called Sunnyside Garage. So actually, this is our first lab. It's really messy and even smell. So we all engineer and the designer all in late 20s. And if we got together only the weekend and create something new product just for fun. And it will happen to be one of these projects. And after 1 year of development, we decided to exhibit it at the Tokyo Motor Show in 2011 as kind of new personal mobility device. It's not like medical device such as existing power channel wheelchair. This is personal mobility, new generation. And then after that, we got overwhelmingly positive reaction from all over the world. Then I realized it was not only him, but also a lot of people desire innovation in this industry. Then, okay, let's start up. So we found our company in 2012. So these are the founders. So I was working for the Nissan Motors in Technical Center in Tokyo. Designed, the car body, headlamp and tail lamp. And also, I was belong to the advanced studio. So think about 10 years and 20 years, the way of transportation based on the people's lifestyle in the future. So next to me is the Jun. He is mechanical engineer designed for surround view monitor, 360 monitor for a car. And then, also he's doing like manufacturing in Thailand here, and in China and Taiwan as well. And then the last guy is Mune. He was a electrical engineer and software engineer designed for pacemaker, medical device. So he knows how to get the patent, and also the regulation for medical device. So first of all, what we did is that researching the market size, and then realized North America is the biggest market in the world. But actually, close to the 50% of the market is in North America. Then we decided to move to the US. After move to the US, so the first off, we just focusing on just one thing. Get 5 customers. Get the 5 customers. Only 5 customers. How? just get purchase order with sign from the users. That's what we are trying to do first. We have a bunch of things to do. So prototyping, asking the question, go to the rehabilitation center, to the research. And then after 1 year, finally we got a 5 contract from the users. This is the final the product, our solution in 2014. 3 core components we have. The first one is design. It looks very innovative. It's not like typical existing power wheelchair and wheelchair. And the second one is the technology. So what unique is the technology is the front wheel. This is supported by NEDO. So it's composed of 24 small rollers surrounding the one tire, enable very, very tight turning radius for inside use. And also this is 4-wheel drive. It covers snow, on the gravel, any terrain you go. So we achieve both tight turning radius for inside use and also good ground covering ability for outside use. Okay. And the last one is the software. So it's connected to the smartphone. So caregiver and the family member can use the remote control. So you can talk side by side, and also you can change accelerator, decelerator through the smartphone. And also it can track log data, life log, when you guys use, and also family member, where is grandpa, grandma, so you can tracking all of the data. Okay, finished. Movie finished. Okay, so that's the 3 core competencies. So I'd like to introduce the actual 5 users. So this is the first guy in the middle of the picture. So his name is Danny. He had also got the muscular dystrophy. So he's also director of the fashion brand in Los Angeles. What he wants to do with a product is that he want to go to the nightclub with Will and trying to hook up the girl. That's what he wants to do. The second girl is the Julia. She got an accident when she was a high school student, and then he wanted to be seen a wheelchair user. But after she got Will, she's going around more easily. And then I'd like to introduce one more person. His name is Kunpei. He asked me one day, says, "Hey Sugie, please bring the prototype. Even the prototype it should be fine." So and I asked, why? And this is the answer. Music. 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 Okay. But anyway, it's a celebration. His celebration. He want to bring the product to his celebration. That's the answer. Okay. So now, actually, our customer is more than 1,000 in the US and Japan. And also, we start to sell product in the UK from this year. According to the, this is showing the age plus 60 years old in the global. In 2018, we reached 1 billion. And it's 2 billion. Reached to 2 billion in 2015. So that means the needs of the transportation to sidewalk travel is definitely increasing. So yeah, That's actually realistic numbers. So far, we have raised 33 million from US, Japan, and Taiwanese venture capital, as well as angel investors. So now, we are moved to second step. What we are doing right now is that not only just selling a product to the individual users, but also we are trying to making a service itself to the B2B places by using the technology. For example, like autonomous driving, anti-collision technology. Let's say, so this is an example of autonomous driving. So this is in collaboration work with Rhizomatics, who produced the closing ceremony in Rio de Janeiro Olympics. So we use motion capture to control all of the devices. So at that time, this is totally autonomous driving applications. Okay, let's move to more like real world applications. So this is an example. Oh. 難しいねこれ。Movie. So this is actually a trial, but this is one of the good examples, so you will see. So at this time, we use like the radar. Okay, so I don't know. It's okay. So what we'd like to do by using those kind of technology is that we would like. Okay. So we would like to this kind of technology into the airport. So how? Why? So this is evidence in the fact. So, for example, Atlanta International Airport, they will spend like in the manual wheelchair pushing operation, $200 million US just for 1 year. So if we use this kind of technology, so we will automatically navigate the passenger who needs mobility assistant. It's significantly reducing an operation cost. But also we are thinking, and then we have already the work with an international airports such as Tokyo International Airport and also Kansas City, United States. Also, we are thinking this kind of the technology to expand to those kind of places such as smart city, amusement park. So at this time, WHILL is just not only mobility device. This is WHILL will be like the part of like, how can I say, the part of like city infrastructure itself. So at this time, it's really changed the people's the view toward the mobility device. It's not gonna be like not gonna be like a typical wheelchair and power wheelchair anymore. Okay. So we are very excited what we are trying to do, and also in the future what we see. So if you are interested in WHILL, please come talk to me later. Thank you very much.
Mr. Sugie, thank you for sharing your story. And next, Mr. Miyauchi, Business Development Manager of QD Laser. Mr. Miyauchi, please.
Thank you very much for your introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to be here and to have such a great opportunity to share our footage or struggle of research to market, from research to market. So my name is Nori from QD Laser. Yes, QD Laser is literally a laser manufacturer. You may know about laser. We put focus on semiconductor laser. some of which looks like the picture in left side. And it is widely used as an application like a laser pointer and CD-DVD player. It might be a laser technology, but I'm not sure because it doesn't exist yet, unfortunately. I'm just kidding. And so QD, what is QD? QD stands for quantum dot. Quantum dot is a small size dot on semiconductor, looks like this. You cannot imagine the size easily, but it is really small, smaller than the virus. Don't you think it's amazing? So QD laser makes QD laser, quantum dot semiconductor lasers. QD laser has various advantages point, like temperature stability, high temperature operability, and long life, compared to other conventional semiconductor lasers. So our core technology is to develop quantum dots in multi-layer with high density and uniformity. So we have achieved it first in the world, and we are still only in the world that being able to do this in the mass production level. So how do we do? It can be achieved by a molecular beam epitaxy technology, or MBE. Don't be afraid. I don't want to go into detail, but just quickly. The quantum dot is self-assembled on the surface of gallium arsenide, and like an island. And covering the island with another layer of gallium arsenide, we can make the multi-layer. Okay, so, and we make our products with partners, not only by ourselves, but with partners. So we are kind of fabless company. We don't have a heavy asset of manufacturing apparatus other than MBE reactors. So we avoid the cost-intensive, capital-intensive business model so far. Oops. Honestly speaking, first 3 years after foundation, we couldn't find customers. It's like a tragedy or comedy. But so QD Laser was some kind of tech-based, tech-driven company and push-type business. And that is not good things in general. But fortunately, we found a customer in the market of telecom in China. So to date, fortunately, we have shipped more than 3 million units of quantum dot laser to the market of mobile phone base station communication and oil exploration. So these are in very high temperature circumstances. So QD lasers high temperature operability match the customer's needs. And very fortunately, our laser business became profitable last year after all. So this is one of our honor to win our awards from IEEE Photonics Society, Academic and Industrial Society for Photonics. So they take into account that our achievement of commercialization and mass production as highlighted in the red letters. The guy in the left end of 3 men is our CEO, Dr. Mitsuru Sugawara. So let me look back of our history. So QD Laser is founded in 2006 as a spin-off from the joint research between Fujitsu and the University of Tokyo. Yes, we have 10 years of history, more than 10 years of history, but we believe we are still a startup. Our CEO, Dr. Sugawara, was a researcher in Fujitsu laboratory. He decided to establish this company in order to commercialize his research interest, of course, quantum dot laser technology, and left Fujitsu. Initially, Fujitsu and the Mitsui Corporation invested the company, and the number of investors have been increased gradually. As a result, to our fortunate, we have been doing our business more than 10 years, 11 years. Yes, and the NEDO always support us. From the beginning of the very beginning of our company's history, we received continuous support from NEDO almost every year. It is noteworthy that every project aims the development of product, not the technology itself, as you see in red letters, or a product. Some projects even specify the application of the product, as in blue letters, like telecommunication, optical interconnect. So this support can be regarded as some kind of revenue to the startup. But of course, we did fundraising in several times in parallel. Anyway, as a result of NEDO project, now we have a variety of product portfolio. We have expanded our product list to shorter web legs from right to left. Next, let me talk about our latest product or project, retinal imaging laser eyewear. So retinal projection laser eyewear is a kind of head-mount display, as you see on the screen, that has a miniature projector inside the frame to draw images directly to your retina. We use RGB semiconductor lasers to make a color beam, which is reflected by a tiny vibrating mirror to scan, to draw images to retina. Since the image is on the retina, you don't need to use your focusing ability to see the image. In other words, it is focus-free, independent of point of focus and or visual acuity. Due to free focus, if you have short-sightedness, far-sightedness, astigmatism, it doesn't matter. You always see the clear image. Actually, we found visual acuity improvement for people with low visual acuity, like this, just like corrective glasses. So the head-mount display is just like active type corrective glasses. So, and in addition, the device can be also used by people with low vision. Low vision is a kind of visual impairment. They are not blind, but have difficulty to see the things clearly, even with corrective glasses or contact lenses. But they can see the world, again, by this device. We already found the customer needs, which is simply want to see the world clearly. Of course, it can be used by the people with normal vision as an AR-type head-mount display. For this project, we are awarded for 3 prizes at once in CTEC, one of the largest exhibitions of consumer electronics in Japan. Actually, we already have the 3rd arrow. Next challenge based on our quantum dot technology. This is for communication between the electronics on computer boards like CPU and memories. So due to the vast increase of data amount, faster communication is necessary to maintain the speed of internet. Now, electron is used as a carrier of the information or data in computers, but there is a speed limitation for them. So that could be a bottleneck. We will substitute it light by hybridizing quantum dot technology and silicon electronics. It can contribute to faster communication system. Again, we are working with partners to make it happen. Yes, that's another honor we recently had, but let me just skip it. So that's all. This is the conclusion, and thank you for your attention.
Mr. Miyauchi, thank you for your presentation. Finally, I would like to invite Mr. Nogami and Dr. Iwamiya. They are co-founder and co-CEO of Metcela. Please.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Ken Nogami, and he's Taka Iwamiya. We are from Metcela in Japan. We are co-founders of this company. We are working on creating a new treatment for the heart failure patients. Heart failure is a status of a heart that cannot pump out enough blood, and 20% of you could have heart failure. So this is going to be an ultimate treatment for the patients with the heart failure. Anyway, so here's a Metcela at a glance. We have just launched the company last March. Within the 5.5 years since our company launched, we have conducted 3 times financing. And we got also grants from NEDO. So in total, we got more than $9.5 million. And it was essential in conducting these R&D initiatives. We have done efficacy tests in rats, and now working on translational researches with human cells. We are located in Tokyo, and we have our own lab in Tokyo. And also, we have advisors in West Coast, California. Key point with Metcela is financing and our team. For the financing, the R&D is really expensive for the company because the efficacy testing in rats costed us almost $200,000 US. $200,000 US. Can you believe? So for the first year, it's almost impossible to run this R&D without these grants. And also, he is responsible for the R&D, and I am responsible for business. So this combination of co-founders was essential in coming up with better business ideas and talking to venture capitalists and have the best R&D plans.
Okay, Metcela is targeting heart disease. In particular, we are focusing on heart failure. Heart failure is a condition in which your heart cannot pump enough blood to keep up with the demands of your body. In the early stages, common symptoms include shortness of breath, lack of energy, and difficulty sleeping. In the US, 1 in 5 Americans will develop heart failure, and nearly 50% of patients will die within 5 years of diagnosis. Heart failure is a progressive disease, so symptoms worsen over time, from slight limitations to having symptoms even when at rest. Treatment also escalates. You start with lifestyle changes, then start taking medications. When there are further problems with the heart, an assistant device is implanted. The problem is that disease is not cured. Finally, there are 4,000 people that need a heart transplant, but 2,000 donors each year. So it is risky and expensive. From this, we identified a significant unmet need in patients with heart failure. Okay, now I'll show you how Metcela's fibroblasts repair heart failure. This time-lapse video on the left shows that conventional fibroblasts in culture overgrow heart muscle and form fibers, resembling the damaging scar tissue in heart disease. The image on the right shows that adding Metcela's fibroblasts to heart muscle causes the muscle cells to multiply and organize into healthy tissue. Metcela is developing a novel treatment for heart disease. In order to repair the heart muscle, Metcela uses a specific type of cells called fibroblasts. Fibroblasts are support cells found all over the body that maintain organ structure and function. Metcela's technology is based on a specifically selected fibroblasts based on my research. Once you put these fibroblasts into a damaged heart, it regenerates or repairs the damaged tissue. So this cell therapy can prevent progression of the disease and avoid heart deterioration on the heart transplants. Now, we're gonna show the history of Metcela. 2014 was a turning point of my life. I earned PhD in medicine at a university, which is famous for regenerative medicine. Achieving my goal of earning the degree, I thought about what I want to really achieve in the rest of my life. For me, all the steps like getting grants for researches, publishing new papers, and having a job sounded not goals, but steps. But it was also impossible to get enough grants for my invention to be delivered to the suffering patients. I realized that the value of my research is maximized in the context of business, not academic research. So I teamed up with Kang and started our endeavor to make this really happen.
So that's how Metcela has been formed in January 2014. But the way to form an actual company was really hard. Our first trial was to apply to a grant from another Japanese government agency, which is called START. And for filing a application for the grant, we initiated discussion with venture capitalists, which is actually our current lead venture capitalist. But it turns out to be a failure. So we couldn't get any grant from all the discussions with the venture capitalists and government agency. And then we had a hard time. So Takahiro moved to the other university and continued his research, but he couldn't get enough fund for the research. And when we formed the team, I was at Morgan Stanley, a security company. But then I moved to another startup, and I went to MBA school in Los Angeles. And the turning point for us was coming up with better business idea. So when he was at the university, there's some cases of the companies who had a successful cases and successful financing. And at UCLA Anderson, the MBA school, I could have my team in the business school and came up with better business idea with a discussion with venture capitalists in the West Coast and discussion with the professors. So after that, in 2015, October 2015, we relaunched the team and started discussion how we can make this technology happen as a business. And then we restarted the discussion with the lead capitalist as well and applied to NEDO STS grant. And surprisingly, even before we launched the company, we got the grant of $700,000 US. So that is significant money for the company launch, and we could reinitiate the researches. So how NEDO grants helped Metcela? We started from proof of concept in 2016. And with that STS grant money to $700,000 US, and we also got a seed financing from Beyond Next Ventures. So grant and seed money used to prove our technology. We got a really promising data from the rat trial, and we proved the concept. And then next year, with that data, we applied to the SCA grant, a grant for the corporate alliance from NEDO again. This was also $700,000 US, and this helped us a lot in product development. We got a partnership with major Japanese company called Shimazu Corporation, and with the other companies as well, and we worked for the product development, product prototyping. So with this money, and also we also got a finance from the Japanese venture capital, which is $1 million US. So in total, we got more than $1.5 million US, and that was really helped us in overcoming death barrier. Death barrier means for the proof of concept period and prototyping period for the biotech company, it's so hard to get money from venture capitals. So these two grants and partnership was essential in coming up with this hard time. And now, with the data from the human cells and the prototype, we are aiming for commercializing this product. So we are expecting another round of financing by the end of this year. This is going to be much bigger than the previous ones. And we are also aiming to apply to the other grants by early next year so that we can start actually commercializing the product and talk to pharmaceutical companies and the other venture capitalists. And so now we can, with a confidence, we can talk to the venture capitalists that we can change the world. We can change how we treat heart failure. But until then, it was really hard time. So for today's session, we want to say that the grant is essential, or it would be a key to come up with, to overcome the valley of death and make the technology happen, make the technology into a business. So thank you very much. So this is how Metcela could make his novel research into a business. Thank you.
ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you very much for sharing valuable experiences with NEDO startups.